Continue the conversation right here in SABC News, a special election broadcast day. We've got our analyst, Professor San Boyson, as well as Dr. Mcebisi Ndletyana. Ladies and gentlemen, 25 minutes or just under 20 minutes to go before the elections open, or voting day 2014 goes on. This is what we've been waiting for.
Yes, it did. Dreams have all come to an end. This is reality time. All the hard work that political parties have put in, today we'll get to see whether it was sufficient enough. People finally will exercise their choice. It's a very important election. 20 years into democracy, the fifth election. We get to see whether people are still keen to vote. We get to see whether, how people exercise their choice, and different things will be tested in this election, how people vote. South Africa, of course, you've had the issue of race being very prevalent, identity politics. Our whole history has been about race and racism, and we've been trying to overcome that for the last 20 years. So how far have we traveled? How far are we in realizing the ideal of non-racialism? So how people vote is an indication of that. And secondly, the issue of class. There's a party that has come up, EFF, that speaks to the issues of inequality, populism. So to what extent does that resonate in our politics? So those for me are some of the two key things that we'll be able to gain insight into based on how people vote today.
I think that's why I'll bring Prof. Boyson in. Dr. Mcebisi makes a good point. Here's a new kid on the block, but it's not really a new kid on the block, because we see these are structures that have already been there within, obviously, the ruling party. What should we expect from the voter towards the EFF, for example? Should we expect them maybe to come up and run with it, or maybe are they just a bit too drastic for a young South Africa, or are we not a young democratic South Africa anymore? We're actually a young adult turning to a big to who we should be?
Yes, indeed. The EFF is going to be a fascinating phenomenon to watch. And I think they draw their support from different kinds of constituencies. The new entrants into the voter market that really are looking for something new, find the old parties, 20 years of democracy, ANC too, very boring. So new ones coming in, angry people with the ANC and in a former youth league, and people they associate with, they definitely right into the youth league. And then I think there can be a big sprinkle, much more than a sprinkling. A group of people angry with the ANC but still see the EFF as patriotic kind of opposition, so it's better to vote there than vote for another party which they associate with stereotypes of perhaps bringing back apartheid. So the ANC has got a real opposition in this. EFF support will largely come either from the ANC or from people that are new voters, first-time entrants there.
Definitely. We're going to keep on speaking with our analysts throughout the morning. We are going to go